Hi, my name is Dalton Halbig, and I had problem 5 from the Expert TA. This was a 4-part problem. I'm going to go through and kind of explain each part of those problems, of those separate problems, and kind of how they work together. So, looking at the problem, we started out with a scooter that traveled a certain distance that started from the south, which was the negative direction, and went to the north, which was the positive direction. Our initial was the starting time, which was T0, and T0 was 0. And then we go through and we look at the distance that the scooter traveled from south to north, and that was 764 meters. And then the time it took the scooter to cover from south to north was 108 seconds. So to me, I looked at problems A and C as the same because when I looked at them and they both basically said velocity average, they were both the same to me in each aspect. So I'm going to explain both of them the same way pretty much. So as you can see, I have A and C right here, and velocity is distance divided by time. So I just took 764 meters divided by 108 seconds, and I got 7.1 meters per second. That was the answer I put in for both A and C. I didn't really see a difference because they basically are the same. Velocity is just worried about a direction, so the only thing you got to be careful of is sometimes the velocity might be negative, whereas a speed really won't be negative. And then we come back and we look at problem B from the Expert TA. The answer I got was 764 meters. It talked about the displacement, and since the scooter only went from one direction, which was the starting position of the south, which was 0, and went all the way to the north of 764 meters, its displacement was positive 764 meters. That was the distance it traveled. It didn't go back and forth. It didn't make any turns or anything. That was just it. And then the last problem on the Expert TA, this one actually gave me a little bit of trouble, but I think it was more so me and I was typing numbers in wrong because I knew about what the answer should be, but it just kept on coming up wrong. But once I finally got the right answer, I had to find acceleration, which when you look at this, acceleration is V0 minus the final velocity minus the initial velocity. And divide that by time, which it can be also a change in time too, because it was, so this problem, the time did not change. So this honestly could actually be T0 minus T, but that still doesn't change how it came out to be, because then it just be 108 seconds divided by minus 0. So it was a positive number either way. But I knew it stated that the final velocity once it got to the end was 12 meters per second, so I knew that that was my final velocity. And it didn't change the time, so I knew that my final time was TF, so it was 108 seconds. And then it wanted to know basically from its starting point, so from the starting point, which was 0 meters here, and then also there was no time at the beginning, so it was 0. So then it just came out to basically be 12 meters per second divided by 108 seconds. And that brought me to my answer of 0.11 meters per second squared. You can carry the ones all the way through because that's what it came out to be. But that's how I arrived at my answers for my problems. And I hope y'all had the same, it was as easy for y'all as it was for me mostly.